Hi students, welcome to the lesson 1 of C programming language by study9.com. So in this class we are going to cover these topics. We shall start with understanding how C language came into being. Then we will also write and execute our first C program. I will explain the program in detail so that you will get a fair idea about the language. So first of all, I would like to tell you about C language itself and its characteristics. C is a general purpose, modular, portable, structured programming language. C is called a general purpose programming language because it is designed to be used for writing software in a wide variety of application domains. By modular, I mean that C is divided into several functions or modules to perform different tasks. C is called portable because C program written for one computer system can be run on another system with little or no modification. C is called a structured or procedural programming language also because a C language divides the problem into smaller modules, also called functions or procedures, each of which handles a particular responsibility, and the program is basically the collection of such functions or procedures. Next, C is called middle level programming language because it supports high level language features like keyword, if, else, for, etc. as well as low level language features like bit level manipulation, then memory access. So it is very close to the machine by machine level language as well as human being by high level language. So that's why it is a very efficient program that is used to create system level code like operating system code and as well as human applications. So as we were discussing that C is a very efficient program for making operating system code. Actually, C was built to do that. C was developed by Danish Ritchie and Brain Cunningham at AT&T Bell Laboratories for writing Unix operating system. The original version of Unix operating system was written in assembly language, a common custom at that time. But assembly level language is very difficult to understand and handle. Therefore, after the invention of C, Unix was rewritten in C. In 1989, the American National Standard Institute published a standard for C, generally called ANSI C or C89. In the next year, the same specification was approved by International Organization for Standardization, that is ISO, and they released their own version of C that is called C90. So now we are moving to our first program, that is a program on a simple calculator that will perform some operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division onto integer numbers. Now the question is how we can run this program for displaying the output. Well, a C program can be converted into an executable file, that is a file with .exe extension to run it. So first of all, the C program has to be typed in a file using an editor. This file is called a source file. Generally, the editor is supplied with the compiler itself, like Turbo C, then GCC, then Borland C++, etc. So these are called IDEs or Integrated Development Environment. An IDE is an environment that includes all facilities like editor, compiler, debugger to develop and run applications. Two more points I would like to share with you in this context, that since C++ is the superset of C, so a C program can be compiled by a C++ compiler. And a C compiler is a computer program that translates a C program into machine language program, understandable by computer system. So back to our programming discussion. The IDE that we are going to use here in our example program is Dev C++, following the GCC compiler. So I am just copying the program and opening Dev C++ software. I am pasting my code in a new source file. I am gonna save it by giving the name calculator, an extension as .c, as all C programs should be saved by giving .c file extension. So now I am compiling and executing the code. Compilation done. Now I am going to execute this code. I am entering any two integer numbers. So this is the result. Fine. So you can see that one warning is generated. This is nothing but for this return type of main. So some compilers actually don't support the return type of main as void. In that case you have to eliminate the return type of main and you have to recompile the program. So in this case no warning. So back to our presentation. Now I am going to explain the code to you. So starting from the first line, it is slash then star, then some text, that is the name of our program, then star slash. So this is a comment in C language. A comment in C language is basically a code that will not be compiled by the compiler. So that is only for the purpose of understanding by the programmer. So the comment in C should be enclosed between slash and star and slash. So that will be ignored by the compiler at compile time. Come to the next line, that is hash include stdio.h. Here hash include is the preprocessor directive that inserts stdio.h contents in C programming. The contents are some predefined functions like printf, scanf used in the program. So when the compiler compiles the program, it sees the content of the stdio.h file instead of the preprocessor directive. In case you are not able to understand the terms properly, so don't worry, these will be clearly explained in later chapters devoted to it. Go to the next line. This is the function main, followed by an empty set of parentheses. After that, a pair of curly braces, and you can see that the other statements of the program are enclosed within the curly braces. So it is evident that nothing appears inside the parentheses after main. So this means that the function main does not have any parameter, and also the function does not return any value. So this specified by the word void preceding the function name. Again I am telling you that this is only the preliminary idea I am trying to give you here. Each topic will be discussed later. Now come inside main. The first statement declares the identifiers a, b, sum, sub, mul to be variables of integer type, and in the second line div as floating point type. Int, float, these are the data types of the variables, that is a, b, sum, sub, mul and div. Now the question is, what is a variable? Well, a variable is an identifier whose value will vary throughout the program. So you can understand from the name that that value will be varying throughout the program. Actually, the variable names are the symbolic names that is given to some memory locations where we can store some value. So variable name represents memory location in computer where we can store some value of some specific type like integer type or floating point type or character type. The next line is the printf statement, which outputs the message that enter two integer numbers. Notice that it is enclosed within double quotes preceded by a new line character, that is /n. The new line character will take the cursor in the beginning of the next line on the screen in the output window. That is the purpose of new line character. Next come to the next line, that is scanf. Scanf function reads the value of the variable from standard input device, that is keyboard, and stores the value within the variables, I mean a and b in our case. %d is the format specifier. It should be used 2 times in our program because we are reading 2 variables here. So %d is for reading integer type variable. If we are using floating point variable, then we have to use %f. For character variable, %c, and so on. So actually, the %d is reading the variable and it is storing the value of the variable inside the identifier a and b. Now come into the second parameter of scanf, that is %a and %b. This ampersand is called the address operator. Actually, ampersand is required to access the memory location of the variable a and b. So I am telling you that a and b are the symbolic names to represent the memory. To access that memory, we have to use the ampersand operator, where we want to store the value read by scanf. The next 4 lines are the various operations performed on 2 variables a and b, and the results are assigned inside sum, sub, mul and div. The equal symbol is assignment operator here. Now come to the line that is div equals to float a divided by b. Here the left hand side value of assignment operator is floating point value, that is div, and the right hand side value an integers, that is a and b if we eliminate the keyword float. So we know that between 2 integers only integer division will take place. So as a result, the quotient will be stored inside div. We can remove this problem temporarily by converting either A or B as a floating point number. This is temporarily we are converting. So for doing that, we have to write the float in front of A or in front of B. So like this, that is float A divided by B. This will cause floating point division instead of integer division. This type of forceful conversion is called typecasting. Next is we are printing the result by passing the values through format strings, that is sum equals to %d, sub equals to %d and so on. We shall discuss about format specifiers, printf and scanf in greater detail in subsequent chapters. So students, I hope you have understood the basic concept of C programming language. I will again repeat each and every topic in our course. So good day and happy coding.